How you doing? Welcome to your world. And today being Monday, like we say every Monday here, it's no Monday blues, no. Today is Mindful Monday. And what we do here every Monday is we take time to pause, reflect, and even have like very, very open conversations that help us self-reflect, know where we are at and where we want to go. Now, today's conversation is, one of those ones, very heavy ones. It's as cultural as it's personal. It's very financial, but also very emotional. I'm talking about black tax. Is it a burden? Is it a blessing? What does it mean? Where did it come from? For many generations, I mean, most of us have experienced the invisible weight that is black tax. You have responsibility, obligations over your parents, over your siblings, over your extended family, and we don't know what to think. Sometimes some people will look at it and be like, you know what, this is a badge of honor for me. It's a duty, it's an obligation. I need to do it. While others look at it and feel like it's a chain that's holding them down from progress. But what do you think? What do you think black tax is? What does it mean to you? Why is it even called that? Was that what it was called before? Because I think I just started hearing this term when I'm older. So I kuna tu pesa ndio unajua kuna kitu inaitwa black tax. Before that, ilikuwa kurudisha mkono nyumbani, kusaidia nyumbani, but where did it come from? What does it mean? So we're going to get into all of that. But before I introduce to you my panel today, I have a question for you that I would like for you to indulge us in today. And the question is, what's one thing you wanted to do but couldn't because of family obligations, and how did you deal with it? What's the one thing you wanted to do but couldn't because of family obligations? How do you deal with it? Share your story with us on NTV Kenya, all on all our social media platforms, NTV Kenya. Answer that question. If you feel like yako lazima upige simu tukusikie ikutoke, please call us. We're here for it all. And the reason I am very bold saying you can call us is because my panelists will be able to handle it. I don't trust me. I don't trust me at all. And introducing them from my very immediate left, we have Nancy Kabiru in the building. Welcome to the show. Lovely to have you, a counseling psychologist. Right next, we have Chris, Coach Chris, finance coach. It's good we have you here today. We need to know.
I'm happy to be here.
Zinaenda wapi?
I love it. Thanks for having me here today.
You're most welcome. Yeah. And right next to Chris, we have Miriam Wangi, who is a relationship coach. Karibu.
Thank you very much.
You are lighting up this career. This Monday has nothing on you today, Miriam.
No. Every day has to have sunshine.
Karibuni sana.
Thank you.
Have you, black tax, I think maybe we need to probably start with what it is. To be honest, growing up, I didn't know that term. I think the last couple of years is when I found out there's something called black tax and what it means. Then you relate it to what you've been doing without calling it that. But what is it? What is it? Anyone can go. Oh, we can. Miriam? Okay. Chris?
I think Chris, the financial coach. So let's hear his views.
I was trying to protect him for last and be like, hizo zenyu mmesema wacha niwaambie ya pesa. But okay, Chris.
I also found it.
Yes, yeah.
But I think basically what it is, black tax, okay, let me not say call it that name, because it has a negative connotation towards it.
It really does.
And sometimes I feel like that influences us in how we think about it. You know, if someone would come to you and tell you the food at this place is bad, even before you've gone there, you're already expecting bad.
Yes.
You know? So basically it's supporting our family, supporting our, relatives, siblings in life. Basically, it's always assumed you are from a point of privilege than them, all right? So it's actually a privilege that you have more that you can actually give out to help support others.
Yes.
Ideally, it's to pull them up.
Yes.
Ideally.
Yeah.
And then they take on their own, they can support themselves. Assuming those are your siblings, if it's your parents, you're able to ensure that they have, they can eat, that's on the extreme side. But also as a sign of honor to your parents, because you have to look at it from a Christian perspective, biblical perspective, where it's a sign of honor to give to your parents, whether or not they need the money.
Or not.
All right? Because sometimes we are like, but he makes good money, why am I giving
to
that person? All right, so it's a point where we are just, one, there are blessings that come with it. So they're like the discussion, is it a blessing
or a burden?
A burden?
Or a burden, yeah.
But it depends how you choose to look at it.
Okay.
And then also we'll get into the financial aspect
bits
of it.
Okay.
Yes, just
so
to ensure that.
Definitions
Yes.
Okay, okay. Nancy?
So basically, as Africans, we are socialized to have responsibilities. And there is hierarchy of these responsibilities. Sometimes you find that the family orientation, there was lack of privilege in some cases, which would give an individual drive to find themselves and to be grounded and to look for resources. They may feel the challenge of a survivor's guilt because they've made progress and want to lift their family together. So it becomes tax because the word tax is an obligation.
Yes.
Right? The black defines where the culture this is coming from.
Yeah.
Because if you look at the Western societies, we have the elderly living on pension and leaving inheritance for their children. But then where we are coming from, probably as Africans, and the way we've been cultured and the challenges we have faced, some families have not been able to build that generational wealth. And the children are very intelligent, so they end up having to feel like, I have to lift my family, I have to support them.
Yeah.
I have an obligation to support my family so that they can also, represent me or, I don't feel out of place.
Okay.
So that is how I view black tax
black
as.
taxes, okay.
So it has a positive effect and it can also have a negative effect.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Interesting. Survivor's guilt, we'll come back there.
Yeah, that's okay.
Miriam.
I think Chris and Nancy have said it all, but I think it's just to say, I think where black tax stemmed from is from, quote unquote, what we would call the entitlement of relatives. Like Nancy has put it, it is sort of an obligation for us, and as Chris has said it, an honor to take care of our family, and especially our immediate family, our parents, and sometimes our siblings. But then you find that there are situations where entitlement comes in, but you have all this money.
Yes.
Why won't you help us? But you have all this money. Why won't you pay the whole school fees for my child?
Yeah.
As I don't even hustle and do something about it. Recently we saw the case, and probably it was an extreme case of that couple, I think from Uganda, who just traveled from Switzerland. They've been in Switzerland for a very, very long time.
Yeah.
They've done very well for themselves. They've educated their kids very well. They come back home, and a relative who felt aggrieved, and this is, I think, like a nephew of the couple, he felt aggrieved that these people had all this money, managed to take their kids abroad, and have not had, quote unquote, the decency to help us. And now here you are sauntering in back into Uganda like nothing happened. Now I'm thinking that's their frame of mind.
Yes.
And you just come and think life is going to be normal for you. No, off you go. And he killed them. He killed both the husband and the wife. They had barely stayed in Uganda for a whole week. To make it even worse, their kids could not travel to come for the funeral because they were afraid the same fate would get them. So why it becomes black tax and why it becomes dangerous is that, God forbid, only one person, member of the family, makes it big and is doing very well for themselves. Not because it was good luck, it's because of the hard work, probably the hard work they've put in, and also God's mercy and grace. They've made it to where they have.
Yes.
But the whole family looks at it like, you're the one who got favored. You're the one who made it. So it's your job to help the rest of us. And olewako usipo. Like so that's where now the entitlement comes in, and that's where I feel the word black tax came in. It's not about honor, because honoring our parents is really good. It's not about helping even when you have. It's more of some people, quote unquote, demand for it.
Yeah.
Either directly or indirectly. So you who's made it up there, like Nancy said, you end up having survivor's guilt.
Yeah.
I have to help because after all, they're looking at me like I made it. It's like mbona usitusaidie.
Yeah.
So you end up having that survival guilt. You end up having pressure, and you end up feeling like it's on me. It's on me. If I don't help them, then who else? So you're not really helping them
Out of
out of honor and out of love and out of, self, giving.
Yeah.
It's more of, if I don't, then my kids could end up getting killed in the process. They may not have the life that I want them to have. So acha niwasaidie.
Was it always like this, though? Was it always like this? Like, say, for example, our parents, because I feel like Black Tax started with Akina Sisi. That's when we gave it a name. But it always happened. Like, it was always, I have seen, say, for example, my dad. It was a duty. Wale watoto wadogo wamebaki, wewe ulimaliza wa kwanza, ni wewe unasomesha hao wengine. Na kazi, na everything. And you've seen it happen. And sometimes, at the end of the day, they get entitled to being helped.
Yeah.
Those little ones, when they grow up, that when you stop helping them, it becomes an issue. But was it always such a burden?
No.
I don't think it's a burden. It's always been a burden.
Yeah.
Because this is an aspect of socialization,
Yes.
right? And there are people who grow knowing that is the way life is,
Yes.
right? So you're never able to even wiggle out of the thoughts.
You don't even think there's anything else
Yes.
other than
That
nikilelewa,
becomes the
nikipata pesa,
responsibility.
I take money back home.
However, as you go through life,
Yes.
as you also start, maybe engaging in a relationship and you want to create foundation and you're thinking about your safety, that's when you start realizing, I'm not able to budget very well because I have this heavy obligation. Research indicates that about 40% of people's income go towards supporting family.
Yeah.
So you're here surviving on 60, you barely have nothing that you can save towards retirement or towards a project that you have. So you start realizing that it is a burden later in life when it is already causing you conflict. So I like to look at it from a psychological perspective, and we look at it in 3 ways. How are you feeling about that obligation?
Okay.
Right? When you're asked, you are told, oh, remember there is this money you're supposed to send me. How does it leave you feeling? Do you feel offended? Do you feel angry? Does it steal your joy? Right? Because then that tells you it's a problem.
Okay.
How are you thinking about that obligation? Your thoughts, right? Is everything that you do around surviving, okay? Because you're not safe. You feel like if I do not create resources, if I don't provide, then a crisis will befall. So your thoughts around it. Then we go to behavior. How are you behaving knowing that you have that responsibility?
Okay.
There are those people who go towards self-harming behaviors because it's too overwhelming. They can no longer, be creative or even manage what they have, maybe their jobs, because they are super occupied and defeated, right? So they go into self-harming behaviors like drinking, like at the end of the day, or taking
forget
drugs.
about it,
Yes. And we also have, people who turn into, sex work to create additional income as a responsibility and justification of an addiction that you have, maybe that develops out of the need, you know. So the behavior you have, are you stealing? There are people who resort into, maybe stealing or kuwa mjanja wa Nairobi, because you have a responsibility, and it tells you that responsibility, the obligation makes you feel like I am justified for whatever mode of looking for these resources, so long as I'm able to deal with that problem. But you forget about you, the individual, in the present time, and how you function, right? And how you're influencing your world. So if those 3 questions drive you towards negativity, then it is a challenge, and you need to come for a meeting, right? But if you don't feel that it's an obligation, then you've worked well on your finances, that you have access to support. Now, those people who become obligated is because they were never taught better.
Yes.
So you're expected to provide, and you're a young person, and you're also expected to parent, right? What do you know? What can you be able to do?
Yeah.
So these dependents become acclimatized that everything is sorted and we are just here. Life is life.
Yeah, it's my issue too.
So they become entitled as a result of of that.
Yeah.
So even if you're in that situation and you're the one providing, how are you enabling and influencing these individuals
Yes.
so that they can also take up those responsibilities for themselves and find solutions? Stress, black tax is a cause of stress, eh?
Yes.
And stress is a good thing. And I keep saying that. If you live without stress, by the way,
Yeah.
you're actually in a crisis.
Yes.
So stress is good. So don't save people from stressful situations all the time.
Yeah.
Because if you do that, they'll never develop the muscles or the creativity to get out of it. So they'll become dependent. Even if it's your parents, right?
Yeah.
You can give food, but chama,
It's
like,
chama hapana.
hapana,
Tafuta chama.
have your boundaries, eh? Because they'll find ways of getting out of that situation. But if you continue giving, nobody will say no. Nobody
Yeah.
will say this is enough.
And there's a clip that I want us to watch just to help us probably see what is happening on ground and understand and probably help us shape this conversation, but also see really, 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 because I saw some of these clips and I was heartbroken.
Yeah.
You wanted to say something before we see the
please,
clip?
Please allow me just to say this.
Yes.
It's really burning. You asked a very pertinent question.
Yes.
Was it always like this?
Yes.
Or what has happened recently? No, it wasn't always like this.
Okay.
Our background as Africans, we lived in a community.
Okay.
We lived communally. Nobody went hungry. Nobody went without, because the community, if you look at our history, our forefathers and our ancestors, and I'm sorry to go back all the way, but we do come from somewhere.
We do come from somewhere.
If you look at them,
Yes.
there's a way they had a way of taking care of each other. I hear of traditional stories that my grandparents would tell me where they had a hut, a granary hut, just to put food, extra food there in case there's a family that did not have, and they didn't want them to feel undignified as they're getting that food. So they would just put it there. So whoever was in need would go there at their own time and pick the food and whatever that they need. So nobody went without. That is our background, that we grew up as a community. That's how we were socialized. But recently you find we're getting socialized differently. TikTok has become our socialization, Instagram, movies. And what are they socializing us into? Individuality.
That's true.
My own.
Yeah.
This is mine. I have a car. I drive a Porsche, but I have seen a Rolls Royce. I want that Phantom. I must own that Phantom. If I don't own it, I will die.
Yes.
And so it makes you feel, yes, I have what I need, but it's not enough because I don't have what I want.
Aha.
And because I want it, I must have it.
Yes.
So it doesn't matter whose head I step on to get my want.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter who I minimize and dignify to get my want, I will do it. I'm not saying it's all cases, but you find that sometimes you do have almost more than enough. Like you have what you need.
Yes.
But ole wako, pesa yangu ya kukunywa hii weekend ndio napeana. How?
Tusikosanie.
Hey, aje sasa. Nikosa kukunywa. Ati ndio nipeane pesa ya kununua unga. So are you seeing?
I see that, yeah.
You may sometimes have enough.
Yes.
But your want is speaking very loudly.
Okay.
So what it is that we've moved from a space of conscientiousness, thinking about the other. If someone asks you for a coat, not only give them your tunic, but also give them
everything else.
Something. That's where we've come from. To a point of, but this is mine. I have a 55-inch right now, but who says I can't have a 200-inch? That's what I want. So I think it's more of the socialization that we are heading to. And it's not only, it's not getting, I'm sorry to sound bleak, it's not getting better, it's getting worse, and it will get more worse. Because if you find right now, many parents are not able to tell their kids no.
No.
They have 50 toys, they don't remember them. but they still won't give them away to the child that doesn't have, because one day they might ask for it and all hell will break loose because they can't find it that particular day. You know, so yeah, it's a socialization.
It is a socialization.
Yeah.
So let's take a look at this clip and then we'll come back to you, Chris. But let's watch it.
Hii ndo kazi mimi ufanyanga wallahi. Hata mkinichukia mkose kuniongelesha, hii ndo kazi nafanyanga. Si ati nakuanga kwa kampuni nimekaa chini. Mimi nazunguka huku kwa msitu huku hivi. Ile punch napata ndo nawapea. Lakini mmeamua kunidharau. Mtaki kuongea na mimi. Mtaki kuongea na mimi na mkumbuke venye nimesimama na nyinyi. Time ulikuwa kwa shida nilikuwa hapo. Mom, unaenda OC. I'm there for you. Hakuna kwa familia yetu ni mimi peke yangu ndio nakusaidia. Hakuna mtu anakusaidia. Unajua tuna ukoo. Walitukimbia kitambo. From time mzee alikufa. Ni mimi nasimama na wewe tu. Kumbuka tulikuwa tunaenda na wewe kibarua. Nalipa 300 na kupea 250 na baki na 50 bob peke yake. Jueni mzazi. Lakini umenichukia. Hata sasa nikisema nataka kuingia kujoin hata KDF siwezi join. Nimejaa na maalama ya viboko yako, umenipiga tu. Umenipiga mpaka na miba. Nilikosea wapi? Nilikosea wapi? Mbona unifanyia hivyo mama? Lakini ni sawa, Mungu wako tu. Mungu wako tu.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah, that did a thing. It's so sad because this changes, because the conversation we're having is on you as the person who is calling it black tax and all of that. But then there's the other side of things where it's demanded of you. And if you're not giving it, then we are cursing you, we are beating you. And just before we go on a break, maybe Chris, you can just chime in on that video.
Wow. Unfortunately, that's a sad reality for so many people out here. You know, as Miriam mentioned, you know, it didn't start this way. No. You know, how it started was the village would come together and say, who, if we send to school, has a chance of making it? And then will be our hope when they make it and come back to help, right? It wasn't a bad intention.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, parents have been faced with the decision of I can only afford school fees for one child.
Person, yes.
Who has the best chance of doing it? So you find the problem is something that started out as good ends up being twisted to be bad.
Yeah.
Now, when things like manipulation comes in, somebody starts saying, but I raised you, but I took you to school, I fed you, how can you dare not give me everything that you earn? In that video, that gentleman is traumatized.
Yeah.
I don't know his background, but I sense that it's historical. In that family, the parent may have also been undergoing the same. And then now, because that poverty, generational poverty is in the family, now they are also expectant that, hey, I broke my back to feed my parents.
Yes.
And now I expect you to do the same for me, which is a sad thing. Because now that entitlement, that demanding that, first of all, they're taking out their disappointment on you. Because they expect you should be doing much more. You should be doing better. Why are you not prospering? You know, all our hope was on you. And then that guy just feels the pressures like, no matter what I do, it's just not enough.
Not enough.
And it's a very sad thing.
It is very sad.
It's
really sad. And we're going to take a quick break, but when we come back, probably we'll look at the boundaries bit of things from both sides. But we have more clips, so just showing how far parents can go to just make this demand out of their children, and also how children sometimes are fighting back and sometimes when giving up on what they need, just to be like, I don't want to be cast, because there's also that. I don't want to be cast. I don't want to be. Is it even? Is it biblical to say that nikikosa kumsaidia ndakasiwa? Ama what is there? What do we hold on to? When do we say no? When do we choose ourselves? It's a whole situation, but hopefully by the end of this conversation, we'll have found the direction. The question we're asking you today for you to indulge us in is very, very simple. We are asking you, what's one thing you wanted to do but couldn't because of family obligation? What's one thing you wanted to do but couldn't because of family obligations, and how did you deal with it? Welcome back to Your World Monday edition. It's Mindful Monday. We're talking about black tax and what's the true story behind black tax. Is it, something that is rooted in community strength and all of that, or is it a threat, a modern day challenge and any threat to your financial independence? What is it really? What does it mean to you? And the question that we're asking you is, what's one thing you wanted to do but couldn't because of family obligations, and how did you deal with it? What's one thing you wanted to do but couldn't because of family obligations, and how did you deal with it? NTV Kenya on all of our social media platforms. Our WhatsApp line is open as well. Our phone line is open as well. You can call in and share your story, ask your questions, and we'll have my very powerful, experienced panelist answer your question. We just watched a clip before the break, and Miriam, you said you wanted to chime in on it before we move on.
I felt there was a lot going on in that clip that needs to be unpacked, and like Chris rightfully said earlier, there must be history. But the couple of things that I picked up from there is that already the relationship between that mother and son was not a normal son and mother relationship. What do I mean by that? I have encountered very, very many families where, unfortunately, they have either one or two narcissistic parents.
Okay.
Now, when you have a narcissistic parent, it has never been understood why they will choose one child to ostracize, one child to look at like the beast of burden in that family. And no matter what that one child does, it's never enough. And they can never, ever, ever be good enough. So what this child will keep doing is to strive, so that they can get approval and acceptance. But they never, ever get that approval and acceptance, not because there's anything wrong with them, but because there was something not ordered correctly in this parent. So that's what I have actually, in those few minutes that I have picked from this man talking, I already discerned that's the kind of relationship he's having with this parent. Because he's saying, I'm the one who has stood with you.
Yes.
I'm the one who has done with you. Yet I am the one who's gotten the most beating from you.
You don't talk to me now.
You don't talk to me. I'm the one who's gotten the worst treatment from you. And what happens in those families, the other siblings who are perfect gang up with the mother because they have already been shown this one is the one on the side. So they they don't even talk about it. It's very unsaid. You just find that now they gang up with the mother against this one.
Yeah.
So the fight continues. So with him talking in that brokenness, it's because he still feels, he desires that acceptance and that recognition. What usually happens with such people, even when they come for counseling, to be honest, for you to survive, like Nancy said, sometimes you have to ask yourself, how am I feeling?
Yes.
They have had, which is a very wrong way to go, but you have to for your own safety. They have had to cut off such family because it has now become toxic and strained to a point of driving you to almost self-harming because you're like, I can't continue like this. So you end up having to cut them off. So what I've seen there is a very symbiotic relationship. It's not a normal mother-son relationship. It's a symbiotic relationship. So long as you're breathing, you better help me. It's what Chris was saying. I did this for you. I did this for you. So you need to do this and this and this for me.
For me.
Yeah.
Retirement plan. Wewe ndio tunakusomesha. Yes,
yeah, the pension.
Yes, I am the pension.
Now, I pick that the individual is challenged self-esteem wise because he talks of the opportunities probably he can have, but because of what he's experienced, he's not able to go for that. So he identifies as someone who is less than based on how he's seen or he has been perceived. So he has internalized that. It's a toxic relationship, of course. Probably he's the scapegoat based on how he's been raised, And it's good to get to that point of realizing that I've done so much. And by the way, that's a lot of self-work. That's a lot of courage for somebody to get to that point and say, hey, I am here. And this has been my journey. There has been good. Of course, a narcissist will give you udango a carrot. Something good, promising, you know. Once they have what they are looking for, then you're discarded, right? And it's a whole dance.
Yeah.
So the promise of that good thing might have kept him wanting and looking forward to maybe creating a relationship. What is the role of a mother? Because here he refers to a mother. Okay?
Yeah.
When you're raising children, children expect to learn emotional affect and how to dance with, interrelationships from you. So that is what they replicate to the world.
Yeah.
Right? So we've heard and seen what he's saying here, but probably also in terms of other relationships, he is struggling because he never got the best of examples. So keeping a job could be a challenge.
Yes.
Keeping friendships could be a challenge. Networking could also be a thing. The other siblings, based on his self-esteem, he may not be able to present himself. So yes, as my colleague Miriam has said,
Yeah.
sometimes you choose and you do the hard thing because you need to start building your own foundation. Okay? So that's an encouragement.
The fact that we're just talking about black tax and just from one video we're picking up so many other things.
Yeah.
It's not a unidirectional kind of conversation.
Exactly, yeah.
Because it comes from both ends and it's difficult to say no,
Yeah.
to even think and assume that I can actually say sina. Si ati sitaki.
Yes, there's guilt.
Sina is I really do not have. It's not I have, but I don't feel like. Do we feel like, maybe this is for you, Chris, that maybe this problem is for people who probably don't have that much money to give, and that, if I am uko balling and living a good life, I can dish away as much as I can, and the black tax is easy for those people. It's not even called that in those circles. Does it matter if I am financially stable?
Okay, I think one thing that we all agree on, it's not one solution works for all, all right?
Yeah.
Culturally, as we grew up, there was a sort of interdependence, community, and all. People to support one another, right? And it was not a bad thing, because if in a village, there's this saying that in a village, if you're the only wealthy person, then that's witchcraft. You're practicing why are you the only wealthy person? You should be able to start things that empower others, right?
Yes.
So the key word here is empower.
Yeah.
Okay? You should be able to empower others. Yeah. And sadly enough, people start taking advantage. And that's why we then start saying, no, even this little that I have, I'm not going to give anyone. All right. Now, since I deal with finances, we are required to be good stewards of our resources.
Yeah.
The resources we have been blessed, we have been given the ability to produce wealth. So we are basically stewards.
Yeah.
And now, what does this mean? This means that if I have a job, do I manage my finances well? To the point where if somebody asks me for support, I can manage to get something and help them. All right?
Yeah.
If that is not there, if I'm not a good steward, what do I usually do? Then I say, I don't have it. Because, as Miriam said, I'm prioritizing many other things, which may not be necessarily, do or die.
Yeah, yeah.
In that sense.
Yeah.
So you'll find many of us are not very good stewards, and so we fall on the blanket of black tax is bad, we don't want to support.
Yes.
But in essence, we are giving out of a point where we are meant to help these people. For example, if it's a young brother, for example, you're saying no would be denying this guy's livelihood forever. Like they will never prosper in any way. So it means, how then can we make it work? All right? How then can we find a solution?
Yes.
And the relationship, as she said, really matters. Because you need to have a relationship where, even though my support could not be monetary, but it's in other areas as well. I'm hand-holding you to offices and saying, help this person. I'm starting businesses and saying, help me run this thing. If it gets profitable, you get to have some money as well.
Yes.
But we are very one-dimensional when it comes to black tax. We always like, it has to be money.
Yeah.
So even that person who cannot afford to give money, what else are you doing to support?
Yes.
I think that's where we need to also look at. What else are you doing to support?
Yeah.
Because if you just focus on money, then and then we come here and say, no, don't give, then we are taking away our responsibility for our brothers. We are meant to be our brothers' keepers, our brothers' helpers. So you have to look at it from different dimensions. There are those people who are doing well, for example, but then they don't want to support.
Yeah.
Now, by doing that, you're denying yourself blessings.
That's true.
All right? Because, the Bible says, honor your parents so that it may go well with you. Be generous. Support those around you. In fact, even says if you don't help a relative, you're denying the faith. You're not living out your faith. If by not helping your brothers and your sisters. Those are your immediate people. It's not even a requirement. It's not even a request. It's expected of you.
Okay.
All right? So there are blessings that come with that. All right? There are blessings. And so if you are narrow-minded and you think that you are the one in charge of your destiny alone and you're individualistic, then you're actually shutting down your own blessings.
That's true.
And what I've also learned is that sometimes by lifting one person, you're lifting generations that will come from that one person. You're empowering a whole generation, a whole community by doing that. So we need to move away from one-dimensional thinking of only money is what
will be able to
support somebody.
Is needed.
Yes.
And I'd like to understand, probably in terms of even language, what language to use if you want to put those boundaries. And you're probably the suppressed one, or like the gentleman that we've just watched a clip from. What language to use in terms of money? What boundaries do I put? And probably not communicated to everybody else, but just to myself to understand. Ninafaa kufanya aje, and be okay with those decisions, because sometimes you will say sina, but then you kidogo umeomba umekopa uwapatie ndio uweze kujipatia wewe mwenyewe amani. So we'll talk about that, but right now we have a clip of a parent still on black tax, but take a look.
Guys, mmeona kwangu wasichana wasikae kwa TikTok hapo mkafikiria ni ati wamezungusa mwili wamenona wamevaa wamengala mkawapatia heshima mkitusengenya huko. Vizuri mimi TikTok nanunuanga bando ya mbao. Na iwatch hiyo TikTok mwenye anatongoa mama yake namuona, mwenye wanatusiana wenye wanaongea mbaya wote nawaona. Mumeona kwangu. Lakini ama ninalala hapo, nilijikakamua nikanua kaploti wapi? Mlolongo. Nikaanza msingi. Mali nyumba ilinishindia hata si mbali. Ni hapa juu. Kazi yangu ni mbaya, wenye wananijua wanajua. Kazi yangu yenye nafanya sio mzuri. Msichana kama Mungu amekubariki. Na mama yako alikulelea kwa matope. So fanye juu chini apate kwake. Hapo ni kwenyu, hapo sio kwangu peke yangu. Utalandalanda utafika dunia mwisho ya dunia, utarudi pale kwa mama yako, utaanza weka usingiza hapo. Ndio ukipiga plan B. Lakini kumuelezea mambo nikamuuliza, na juzi tukivurugana na yeye hata siti kuvurugana, nilimuuliza Farida mali ya kibe. Warafiki zako wenye unapelekanga outing, unawanulia pombe. Ni vijana within hapa mahali naishi. Wanakuja wananielezea mara kwa mara. Mtoto wangu, kwa nini unafanya hiyo yote na mimi nanyeshewa? Hiyo tu ndiye akafula akaenda kama amebeba mdomo. Msichana wangu mimi nanyeshewa mali nalala. Tafadhali. Lakini wewe unaenda unachafulia watu meza mpaka asubuhi. Na hii mambo ya kushukuanga mambo ya family kila siku unaungeka kwa TikTok. Uko na akili? Wangapi wako kwa TikTok hapo wajawahi anika mafamilia zao? Unafikira wote wanatoshana? Ama hao wana mashida? Mtu ashinde ukiweka mama yake hapo, anaongea stories za mama yake, kazi yake ni kuongea ma stories za dada yake, vile wanaishi na vile anawasaidia, anaongea mpaka ile unga moja alitunulia supermarket. Mimi nikianza kuhesabu yenye alikula, nitamaliza. Ukimuuliza kidogo, ataruka sasa aanze kuanika kwa TikTok. Jua anatafuta followers wajae. Familia yake ndio followers. Kwani wana TikTok wengine hawana familia? Mbona sijawahi sikia akiwanika kwa TikTok?
Wacha ikuwe mara ya mwisho kuongelelea maneno cause inani drain. Na nimechoka na watu kukuja kwa inbox yangu kunipatia mawaidha sijui zinakaa aje. Tafadhali. I know what I'm going through. Na I am fighting depression as much as I can. Niko na mtoto ananitegemea. Mimi ndio mama yake, mimi ndio baba yake, ananitegemea. Sai anything ikienda tu wrong hivi, mtoto wangu anabaki akihangaika. So let me address this for the last time. For those people who think that I don't help my mother, I do. I have my own story, na yako na yake. For those people who think that mimi nilikuja ku-address mama yangu hapa. No, I didn't do that. She started it. She made a video. I don't know why she did that. And akona namba yangu tu angenipigia kama kuna issue tuende tukae chini. I've always been telling her this. If kuna shida, don't discuss me with my sister, because huyo mtoto anarudinga ananiambia hizo vitu. Usini discuss na sister yangu. Hata niheshimu. Unaniita tu tunakaa chini tuna solve. I've been telling her tunaweza solve tu hizi vitu privately. Iko ifikie hapa. Kama nimenyamazia time yote, sijai sema stories juu ya nini. Imekuwa ikiumiza ndani kwa ndani. Because I really think I need those therapy sessions. I'm losing my mind for real. Yeah. But yeye akaona hawezi fanya hivyo. Before ajenge hiyo video alikuwa shaambianga sister yangu akaniambia, mama amesema atakuja kutengeneza video akuaibishe. Sababu unajulikana uko na jina, ati watu wengine wanatoanga wapi pesa ya kusaidia wao familia hivi na hivi na hivi. Mimi nimeolewa juzi. Sitashinda nikipigia bwanangu simu nikimpressurize ati mamangu anataka hii. Kwa hiyo video yenye alitengeneza amesema tu vizuri sana. Alipewa 40k, ajua alizifanyia nini. 5 million unaweza jua kenye utafanyia. Si ndio mamangu mzazi? I've been forced to grow up really quick. Yani sikuwa nataka kuongea sana, but you guys are draining me. I know mama ni mama and I'm not feeling good tukikosana hivi na ni kitu tu tungesolve nyuma ya tent. But yeye akadecide hatuwezi kuongea, akajenga video ya kuongea vibako na uchungu sana. Hata kwa video ukisikiza, she's very very bitter.
We got those videos from TikTok. That's a mother and daughter, and the video, we've compressed them. They're pretty long, and the video of the daughter ends with her saying, if it's gonna be more peaceful for me to deny my child what the child needs to take care of you and make everybody happy, then sawa, then I will just do that. You know, very defeated, very, and this is a reply. So mom started the conversation and then she jumped onto it as well. A lot to unpack there. Do we start with you, Miriam?
There's loads of issues to discuss, but I want to start with something someone said off camera.
Yeah.
Salim, our videographer.
Salim.
He said, and I'm agreeing with him, one of the biggest problems we're having now is that people are communicating through social media.
We're not talking to each
other. Family members are just just throwing things through social media. If you look at these two people, like what the daughter is saying, why can't we meet and talk? Mbona tunaenda kuanika? Because both of them, we don't know who started it.
Yeah.
Each of them is saying this one is the one who started, so we don't know. But either way, one of them took it to social media to discuss there, kutoa mauchungu yake. I really have a problem on how social media has become the place to air out your dirty laundry, to seek counseling.
Yeah.
Like if I talk my issues on social media, then I'm helped.
Yeah.
That you still remain with your issues. People will give you very many opinions, but at the end of the day, you still have your issue. Anyway, that has been, I needed to get that out of the way. That already you can tell their relationship has not started getting strained now.
No.
It's not mostly about what she's not giving the mother, right? I would really want to know what born she is. If I'm not wrong, probably she's the firstborn. She's the older one. And so much is expected of her as the older one. I don't know why responsibilities always fall on firstborns automatically. It's like inaanguka kwa laps zako, whether or not you're capable or not. But I also want to bring out an issue probably that is going to be very sensitive. And maybe that mother will see, but I will say it anyway. She's not old.
She's not?
She's not old.
No.
She still looks capable.
Strong.
She's even going out of her way to glam herself. Nice nail polish. I noticed those things. How she has manicured nails, better than mine even. So she's not doing badly for herself. And if you're doing that for yourself right now, right? There's so much more that you can do for yourself. We congratulate you. You've built your house up to the level that you have done. That is great. That is extremely commendable. But I also encourage you, you're still strong enough. Let me tell you one thing we are getting badly in Africa. Mwikali. If you go abroad, you will find someone who is 80, 88 working.
Yeah.
Not because, yes, because they need the money, okay?
Yeah.
But also because they still want to feel capable.
Okay.
They still want to feel in control of their lives, in charge of their lives, that I can still do this. When you're abroad, you try and help an old person carry their packages. Oh, let me help you, ma'am. You know, because you're thinking they're too old. They'll even insult you. They'll be like, who told you I'm old? I'm capable. I can do it. I can do it for myself. Why? Because there's dignity in able to do something for yourself as long as you can.
Yeah.
When you can't, it's something else. But when you have exhaustively tried to do something for yourself, even if you're just going to, I have worked as exhaustively as I can and all I've managed to do is buy one brick. That's the brick I have bought. Tutaona mali tutaiweka ama niweke kwa kona, nigoje ingine ikuje.
Yeah.
I have seen, and I hope she doesn't watch this. I have a relative of mine and I really, really love her.
Yeah.
And it's a good thing I'm saying. She's built her house in Shags by herself. She's really, really struggled.
Yeah.
She's poured mchanga hapo, akaeka mawe hapo, akaeka nini hapo. And then now she comes and she tells us, kitu nimebakisha ni dirisha tu na mlango, nisaidieni. Why will you not help such a person?
Yeah.
Because you're seeing with the meager income that she has exhausted it. She has done everything that she can. The house is up, and mind you, the only thing remaining are windows and doors. She's even done the wiring for her house.
Wow.
With very little money. She won't come and say, give me, no. But she's like, I have the dignity of saying, I built this house for myself.
Yes.
I did this for myself. I am still young, I can do this. When I'm older, I don't know what will happen.
Yeah.
You know, and that's the thing. We need to encourage our people, the dignity of being able to do something for yourself. That's what keeps you going. That's what keeps you alive. My grandmother died at 120. She stopped going to the market at 110 to sell her little things. In fact, ni sisi tulikuwa tunaambia akina mayangu, na sasa huyu akienda sahau kurudi home, like, you know. But yes. That woman died with all her faculties.
Yeah.
She never lost her mind.
Yeah.
She never lost her walking ability.
Yes.
She still had all her teeth because she told God, as long as I am able, I will do it until my last breath. And that's
Yes,
what she
she did.
Even by the time she's dying at 120, you couldn't shower that woman. Until you're telling her you're too old. She's like, Ahera, get out. Let me do it for myself.
Yeah.
And she would clean herself. And because why? She wanted that dignity. And she stayed strong until she took her last breath.
Yeah.
Because that's what she aspired. So we need to encourage our people to have, there is dignity in working. Even if you're going to work for that unga, you come and tell me, I have an unga, but sina skuma. Kwa nini nisikusaidia upate your skuma?
Yeah.
But there is dignity in that I have done this for myself.
Yeah.
And that's what I would want to encourage this mother and many other mothers. If your child brings you, like she's saying, I think she had given the mom 40,000.
Yes.
That's what she had.
Yes.
That in itself, Mom, I've given you this 40,000. What you're going to do with this 40,000, like in the case of the 5 talents,
Yeah.
and the one who had 2 talents, they worked to multiply those talents. And that's what God was trying to teach. You might be given something small by someone,
Yeah.
but when this person comes, they're looking at, hey, inile 40K nilikupe. Ai, imefikaje 80. Kwani ulidu?
Yeah.
That person will feel encouraged to even want to add more. Because you are, like Chris said, a good steward
Yeah.
for what I gave you. Because she's asking, nimekupatia 40 haukumanage. 5 million ndio unataka sasa ndio utamanage.
Yeah, it got there.
And that is a heavy question.
It got there.
Yeah.
It got there. We're due on a break, and I want to get your sentiments on that video as well, Nancy and Chris, when we come back, because I don't want to rush you through that feedback. Just taking a quick look at what you guys are saying on Facebook in regards to our question of the day. And the question is, what's one thing you wanted to do but couldn't because of family obligations, and how did you deal with it? Pale Facebook. Truth, Wisdom, and Hope says, starting my own business early, I had the vision, the plan, and even some savings, but family responsibilities kept redirecting those funds. It's tough balancing personal dreams with the silent duty of supporting loved ones. Akoth Yaki Uholo says, family first, obligations first, and non-negotiable. Black tax is a word coined to escape responsibilities and have family discord. Moki Senior, when do I come to make my hair? Okay, sawa, brotherly duties. Personal, they should have gone to the DM. Linda, but I see, she's calling out the brother coming. I want a free salon treatment for my hair because it's brotherly duty.
Yeah.
She's been given a date, Wednesday. So
Oh, wow.
it's going on. Lina said, I've failed 3 businesses because of family problems. I've finally started one that's working and I've chosen to be deaf. Michael Learam says, I wanted to do nothing but family. Mwingine akasema education. So there's a lot of that, and we'll be reading more of your feedback. We have some more on WhatsApp that we'll get back onto when we come back from the break. Do stay with us. So there's so much more on the other side of the break. Today we're talking about black tax. What is it? Is it a burden or is it a blessing? Has the times changed for us that we're looking at it as something else? Have we lost the main plot? What was the main plan for it at the beginning? What happened in between? And like Nancy said earlier, how do you think, feel, and behave towards this responsibility or duty, however you see it? And depending on how you think, feel, and behave, then you need to determine kama niendelee nisiendelee nipate msaada. And hopefully by the end of this conversation, we will probably have a direction on how to handle, especially if you're looking at it as something that I'm not able to do anymore. I wish to continue doing it, but I don't know how to do that. But before we get that, and I hope we will get there, there's a clip that we watched and we got sentiments from Miriam. But Nancy, I'd like for you to chime in from the mother and daughter TikTok exchange. Yes!
I've even put my phone on my lap. Well, it's unfortunate. It's very unfortunate that this relationship is at the level it is, because there's a role of a parent and there's a role of the child.
Yeah.
In this case, we are seeing the child being parentified. The mother has regressed and she's expectant and throwing tantrums. I'll call those tantrums because it's a call for attention.
Yes.
And whichever direction there's a reaction, the mother will give so that she can get what she wants, which is pacifying. How is the society seeing me? She's caring more about how the society sees her and thinks about her, and that's why she will bring the daughter's friends in this conversation. You drink with them, and they come to tell me.
Yes.
So she's looking at outwardly, I've put in this much effort to get here. You cannot raise the bar for this family. You cannot help us to get there so that we don't have shame in the society, right?
Yeah.
So she doesn't have room. She's not holding capacity or room for the daughter to understand what is this daughter going through. Why is she not able to give resources? You understand?
Yes.
And this child is coming from a state of brokenness. She states that she has a child.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
And she's the mother and father.
Yes.
As much as she also says she's recently got married.
Yeah.
So we can get, there's a gap there, right?
Yes.
So we can understand that we can, pick that the daughter latched on to somebody for comfort, for, contact, because she's not getting that from the home. She's being vilified. Every time she's being vilified.
Yes.
And we know culturally or African context, if you get a child out of wedlock, you're already labeled, right? So you can as well continue with the business to make us happy. So she probably is struggling with that.
Yeah.
So when you're parentified as an individual, what it does is it robs you of your identity. Okay. So you get into a state of role confusion, right? So here I have my daughter to take care of,
Yes.
and I have my mother to take care of, and I have another angle of a new relationship that I'm trying to also work on.
Yeah.
And I have myself here. So you lose yourself with the responsibilities that are asking of of you, right? And if she does not find grounding, she will end up disappointing all the three and herself. All because of that expectation and societal view. And I'll marry that to a question you asked, whether black tax is for people who are, struggling, or the wealthy one. Even the wealthy one do struggle, because we have families that care more about their image. So the more you progress, the more you have to do here for us to fix the image. Maybe because the parent feel that they got stuck somewhere and they have always, amplified what where their standing is. So they end up burdening. We can see black tax also playing even in politics. We put people in positions so that they can do things for us. All right? So if you carry that culture now back to the home setting, for that young girl, it is a sad reality. Right? And I tell people, realize that you have your own personal space. Right? And what you're feeling about yourself is what is projected outwards, right? Today, Mwikali, you can choose to say, hey, Nancy is this and that and that. But if I don't feel that about myself, it will not make sense.
Will not.
So you have to start doing inner work. And sometimes inner work requires you to isolate.
Okay.
Right? Only latch where you're pulling positive energy. If Kweli, the chick chafuas, maybe she's chafuaing because there is where she feels she belongs. That's the community that makes her feel this is family for me. I get to laugh. If I'm not with them, then I'm not able to share that joy. So it is a crisis. She's stepping into a curated world. She will curate it so that she gets lost in it, so she doesn't have to deal with what is overwhelming her as family responsibility. Probably stuck as well, probably stuck in terms of reasoning and thinking. We can also pick that the mother-daughter relationship is not a safe thing. So even being able to catch her to have a conversation is not possible. Because a lot of vilification has happened. So people reach out to each other on social media, yes, but as a cry for help, right? Because we've tried to converse, so everyone feels entitled. I've tried to get your sister to talk to you. I've also sent your friends, but you're not communicating in social media. What I'm seeing is different. I will get you there. So it's usually like, I'm looking
and it's
for you.
For atatengeneza video akuaibishe.
Yes, there's a lesson. I want to teach you a lesson. But as much as, yes, we pick the lesson, there's also a cry for help. And that cry for help for this mother, we can see entitlement, the obligation. It's your job. Don't progress faster than you have helped us. We have to progress before you. So what the mother is doing, she's stunting the daughter's ability to grow, right? She's also not employing patience and thoughtfulness, in that if she's able to create a safe family, the new relationship and the child, then I will have a healthier daughter. I'll have a happier daughter. What is more worth? A grander house with sadness, right? Or what you have and happiness. The mvua, she says the rain beats her. That mvua should be a motivator. Even stress, So take it as a positive, as a motivation. That's stressed. So tell yourself, so instead of my nails, because the image seems to matter more, instead of my nails, if I go 2 months without nails, can I not buy 3 mabatis, So do something. Show your daughter it is possible for you to also get out of that financial constraint. Because as well, when we talk about well-being, we also look at how are you doing financially? How are you doing spiritually? So in addition to the other 3 things I mentioned, there's the spiritual standing, and there's also the financial standing, and now we add on health. So if these 3, the thought, feeling, and behavior, are not working well, they will affect your health. They will also affect your financial decision, and they will also affect your spiritual grounding. So the ripple effect of such entitlement, requirement, or demand tax, right, goes to affecting everybody.
Chris, pulling you into this and also looking for an angle of, so clearly there's money that is being sent home, but probably it's not enough. And how can we budget for that? Is there like a percentage of what I can give? Does it vary from month to month? And what's the safest way to handle this if you still are willing and not feeling bad about it, but you are trying to see how to handle finances in that way?
Okay. Offline, I'd mentioned that I'm an author.
Yes, you are.
Yeah, I've written a book called Unlocking You.
Yes.
Breaking Mental Barriers, Build Lasting Wealth. And the first chapter is about the real problem isn't money, it's your mindset.
Okay.
Okay? Let me expound on this.
Yes.
You know, how that mother in that video is, you know, airing her issues. I don't believe that if she was given the money, all the issues would go away.
Aha. Okay.
There's so many underlying things that need to be processed first before the money thing can come. Because I don't believe if she gave 5 million, now she'd come and hug her daughter and say, all is well. There was never a problem between us. I don't think that's the issue. So there's something that we need to address. How is she viewing the daughter? I like what Nancy said. You know, the role of a parent is meant to give everything for your child to prosper.
Yes.
Give them that platform to prosper. You know, just going back, not too far back, we were in COVID.
Yeah.
All right? And if you look keenly, one thing I observed was that the parents were the ones feeding the children now.
We went back home.
Yes.
Tulirudi nyumbani.
People went back home. People closed up, stopped renting, and I'm coming back home. I'm coming to Shags to be fed.
Yes.
Now, if that relationship was not there, then you'd be stranded wherever you are. Because that parent who says, don't worry, my child, come home. I can't afford to have you sleep hungry with your children. Come home, we will feed you. That's a parent who's after your good, after you prospering, after you doing well. Okay? So we need to have that mentality that what is the intention behind this thing? As a parent, what is your intention?
Okay.
All right? Is it really to grow, or are you feeling bad that your daughter or son is doing well and you didn't get to do that? So you just want, I also want $1 million. I also deserve to have 3 million in my account just to blow. You know, because she was given money. She was given 40,000 shillings, and she can't account for it. In fact, that's the most painful part. Because if I give you, I sacrifice. Because it's a sacrifice. I have sacrificed what I had, and I gave you. And if you cannot also say, this is what I did with this and this and this, then it's not also encouraging to me to give. All right, that aside. Now, when coming to finances, there's no one formula fits all. Because we come from different families. Okay? Even when in marriage, for example, one family could be much better off than the other. So both of you deciding to be equal, will give 5,000 to both. No, it's not fair. Because they're coming from different backgrounds. So you have to understand, okay, what can I give based on the circumstances that are there, okay? So you have to look at, number one, what I try to teach is, you know, you have to ensure that, one, you don't go into debt to give, to support, because that means you're pulling all of you back.
Yes.
You know, you're
you and the whole clan.
all of you back. No one will ever get out of that rat race. It will be a generational curse, for example. Then number two is, if you don't have some money that you're also saving and investing for yourself and for your children, then there's also a problem. You can't also give the whole pot. Because again, you're also not giving yourself a chance of ending this thing. Okay? So if you do your math, it will mean there's some sacrifices you'll have to make for you to have some money for your future, for your investments, and also to have some small money to support your family. So it's about finding a solution. Most of the time you'll find that, okay, what I have left is not so much. Then it means, okay, then what else can we do to increase our income for us to still make this work? Because if we stop at, okay, I don't have any money left, then we are not solving the issue. We are not solving the issue. So we have to find a solution. And the better the relationship with your parents, the better for you. Because now I can go to my parents and say, okay, I can only manage this much.
Yes.
But here's what I'm willing to do. Can we do something here, that we can come together, that you can manage, or can we buy a goat here? You watch it, it gives birth, we be selling. Well, let's do this thing together.
Yeah.
By bringing everyone into the picture and getting a common solution, that is always the best way, because you're also working on the solution.
Yes.
You're maintaining the relationship, and it's not a money issue.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, it's an empowerment issue. I really feel this is where we need to look at it from.
Yes.
It's not a tax. You know, whether or not you have it, you will pay.
Yes.
You know, that's the sad part, because we are stuck on that
really
part.
is.
That it's whether or not you have it, we will pay.
You
We
will
have to pay.
So,
Yeah.
but then the question, you had,
Yes.
had you finished?
Yes, so
Sorry.
it was
Yes.
about budgeting.
Yes.
Now, set aside some funds. So one of the solutions that we also say is, if you know you usually support on a regular monthly basis,
Yes.
or it could be ad hoc, it's not the same for everyone, it could be ad hoc. Can you put aside like a fund, like we call it a sinking fund, where you're putting some money in an investment, where when I'm asked, this is where I get it from.
Aha.
Okay? This is where I get it from.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
it's earning interest while it's not being asked for.
Yes.
But when it's asked, at least I have.
Yes.
And then also, you don't give it all when
Okay.
it's asked, because you have to manage it. Because
Yes.
if maybe your limit for the month is maybe all I can give is 10,000.
Yes.
If on second somebody asks you for money, you cannot give 10,000 because you're expecting there'll be another person and then before the month ends asking for additional money. So that you manage it that way. But it's good to have some limits and guidelines of what you can. But communication is key. Manage expectations beforehand.
Okay.
Manage expectations beforehand. Like, this is where I'm at. This is what I can afford for now. Or this is what I can do. But you have to find a way of getting out of that cycle.
Okay. Do you feel that probably guys know how to handle black tax better than girls? Is there a gender thing where probably they have boundaries more, especially because they're getting married, they're starting their own family, and then the Kagal probably... I don't know. But is it the same for both genders, how we handle? Yes, Miriam?
I would say no.
Yeah.
Because there are different factors that vary.
Okay.
Yes, guys will help, but guys marry.
They do.
And even women get married, but when you do marry, and Chris will tell us that he's a man, your wife really will changia like how are we using our finances. You can't just decide sasa nitapeana tu vile nilikuwa napeana, because she'll be like, yo, live to cleave. There's that part of live to cleave.
Yes.
And we have our family, we have to build our family.
Yeah.
So the way you give before is not what's going to happen, it's going to change. Now, for women, yes, we do get married, but for us, we were never told to live and cleave. But have you ever noticed that in the Bible?
It's
A
not
man,
all about-
a man
is not the man for the Bible that says man, woman.
A man shall leave his father and mother and cleave to his wife, and the two shall become one.
Okay.
As we just change
Homes. and
homes.
names.
But most of the time, we never live and cleave. We will submit to our husbands and we will follow to what they're saying. But our hearts are always like, wa, aki ningekuwa tuna kanini ka, unaona I'm looking at that kapot full of coins. And I'm like, if let's say you're not working, because I even remember like when my mom was growing up, my mom was a housewife. She would always, if I had that small pot,
Yes.
I would really want to help my dad do this. I would really
Yeah.
want to help my mom do this.
Yes.
So I've even seen another debate. I don't know whether you saw that online. Sorry, I'm mixing things. There's this actor who came out to say, men, from Nigeria, he's a Nigerian actor. He's around 60, I think he ailed. And he was telling men, can you start respecting your daughters? Can you start loving and embracing your daughters? Me, this far, I have reached.
It's my daughter.
It is my daughter who has stood with me. He has sons, but his daughter has gone out of her limbs for that man, taking him to hospital, making sure he has everything he needs. She has her own life, but she's like, my daddy,
Yes.
So a daughter's heart will always, and I'm not saying that because I'm a woman, it's true, a daughter's heart will always remain there. It's not about the responsibility. It's more of the heart. For the man, it's more of the responsibility and logic.
Yes.
I need to do this.
Yes.
It's an obligation. It must be done.
Yes.
For us, we are moved more by the heart.
That's true.
You know, I always give. I mean, I'm giving this in national TV. I give the example where I came home to visit from abroad. Mm-hmm. I was just coming to visit. Mm-hmm. Found my mom sick. I had a life going there.
Yeah.
Found my mom unwell, and I just never went back. I just didn't.
You couldn't.
I couldn't, because I'm thinking I'm the last born. The rest are married. They're up and about everywhere.
Who's taking care of her?
I'm like, my God, what if I go and I get called? No, I'm not. Like, I stayed. I was telling guys there, just sell. I'm not coming back.
Yeah.
Why did I do that? You know, because it wasn't more of a logical. If I was using my logic, I would have been like, hey, yo pesa yote, you know, like, or, I mean, you're struggling, you're making money, yes, but at the same time, you're thinking that money is not surmountable to what my mom is. It doesn't. You can't enumerate it. There's no comparison. Like, this is more weightier. So let me stay home and take care of her. So I lost a life. Do I regret? No. Because I got to spend that much time with my mom before she got called home.
Yeah.
I will never, you know, but if I was looking at it as how much I have lost, so that's what I'm trying to say. You can't equate value to relation. There's no value you can give.
Yeah.
Money value you can give to relationships. Okay. So to answer your question, men between women, most of the time men will be logical.
Yes.
You can correct me, Chris, if I'm wrong.
Then we will be emotional.
And we will be more like, now sasa nikikata kumpesa hii, atafeel aje, what will happen, you know. Yeah.
Nancy.
Yeah, all right. So I think, yes, we wouldn't say what gender. We cannot say what gender is more inclined to black tax.
Yeah.
What I'd want to say is, if you have to do it from a point of abundance. I will use the first clip we watched where the gentleman was saying he can earn 500 shillings, but he gives the whole 500 shillings back at home. So if I borrow from Chris, if we are to take the mindset and from the point of empowering this person, he's supposed to look at if from this 500 shillings, if I took away my food, an amount that pays probably rent, how much do I pay myself for having earned that, for having worked, right? What am I going to put aside? This is where we need to put a lot of financial literacy, because there are different options and tools that you can even save 100 shillings. Right?
Yes.
As money that you can get later, right? We've seen border circles, you know, do great things from saving 50 shillings. So it's this person understanding that I have the ability to work and change my destiny. And since I'm able to make an income, I need to make wise choices with this money, whether you are a man or you're a woman, okay? So put something, pay yourself. And we usually say pay yourself first, right? If you're in an accident and you pull yourself from the vehicle and you're bleeding, first go to the hospital or ask for help to go to the hospital. Save yourself, right?
Yeah.
Because if you decide to go back when you don't have the capacity, then you don't stand a chance to survive. So using that analogy, what I'm trying to say for this young man, for the young lady we have watched, you have to think of how are you investing in yourself, because you have the ability. First of all, congratulations to the lady who can get 40,000 to give, by the way, in this economy. Hello.
Good job.
You know, good job.
Yeah.
So if you can do that, how much have you put aside for yourself? So that you're not giving from a point of adversity, right? So even if we have the collective responsibility to, you know, have to work home, don't take the entire burden as yours to do. Because there are also those who strive others of the responsibility because they have to appear as heroes, right? Who else can you work with, right? To help you work around that. Maybe the parents are stuck based on their age and what they have seen to even think creatively. If you have other people who can help you or who can work with you, it's good to also inform. Sometimes I say, when you do something good, don't do it silently.
Yes.
Okay? Because the bad thing you do is also not in silence.
No, it's not.
It is announced.
It's actually very loud.
Yes, it's loud. So when you're doing something good, also mention, by the way, I've been able to send Mom unga, Oh, the others will be like, oh, okay. So she has unga. What she doesn't have is veggies or nyama,
Yes.
right? But if you don't say, the mother won't say, or the father won't say. And so there might be somebody else who is also contributing.
Yeah.
So you're helping a lifestyle at your cost,
At your
in a
cost.
sense. So thinking broadly, okay? But begin with yourself. Yeah.
Okay. Whew, we've got a bit of feedback on WhatsApp. Maybe we can just take a look at some of them before we go on a break. You can have that on the screens. And thank you. Good morning. Black tax is somewhat a burden, but then again, we try our best support. For example, parents do back at home, such as supporting their farming expenses financially and many other ways. MC Tonje from Muhoroni. Thank you. Hi there. For me, maybe drugs, clothes, piercing. In yetu. This is awesome. Following, very encouraging and educating. Thank you so much. All right. And we'll definitely be checking more on our social media pages to just see what it is that you're saying concerning this conversation. But we'll be right back after the break. Don't go too far. Okay, there's one more. Hi, your world. Following the conversation closely, and one thing for sure, toxic parents are manipulators, entitled, and always determined to ruin their children's lives, like shaming them, making bad financial and life decisions, and somehow blaming the child. Black tax also involves emotions, and when they attack your emotions, they won't get any money from you. That's what they fail to understand. Woof. Okay. My name is Feli from Kisii. My dad has a kidney problem and he strains a lot. I mean, a lot to provide for a family of 6 children. Kwanzia school fees mpaka food. Our last one's here ako Form 4. I wish I had an opportunity to provide for my loved ones, lakini hakuna kazi, more especially my parents. Jameni wapumzike. It's true. I think it's the dream to just ensure wamepumzika. They're not hustling or struggling in their old age. Whew. We're going to be back after this break. Don't go too far, but indulge us on our question of the day. And the question that we're asking you today is, what's the one thing you wanted to do but couldn't because of family obligations? How did you deal with it? What's one thing you wanted to do but couldn't because of family obligations? How did you deal with it? NTV Kenya on all our social media platforms. Our WhatsApp line is open, and our phone lines are also open. Please feel free to call us. We'll be right back after the break.
Today I want to talk about black tax. You know, the black tax is one of the silent, emotional, and financial weights that many Africans carry without question. You know, on the surface, it is painted as love, it is painted as beauty, or even nobility. But beneath it, there's often an uncomfortable truth. That it is the child inheriting the responsibility of their parents instead of inheriting the assets of their parents. And here's how it starts. In many African households, there's an unspoken life contract that when you make it, then you carry the family. And it is not framed as a choice. It is framed as an expectation. The child who earns more is automatically the lifeline for rent, school fees for younger siblings, hospital bills for aging parents, you know. And sometimes even extended family needs. And most of the time, it is justified by saying, you know what, we raised you. Now you must return the favor. But this flips the natural parent-child dynamic. Because parents are supposed to prepare children for life, not use them as a retirement plan. Because when you do it like that, it comes with a hidden cost. You know, when you spend your prime years, the years that you should be building your own foundations, when you spend those prime years funding the survival of the generation before you, then 2 things always happen. 1, your life's momentum is delayed because you can't aggressively invest, you can't build assets or even pursue risks because most of your income is for maintenance, not growth. And then secondly, you inherit your parents' unfinished struggles. Instead of inheriting land, instead of inheriting wealth, or even businesses, you inherit debt, unpaid bills, and incomplete projects, all in the name of duty. This often results in a generational loop where each generation starts from zero, or even worse, from minors. And here's why it is not noble. I mean, not in the way we think. Society frames taking care of your parents as a moral badge of honor. But here's the uncomfortable truth. If the reason you're doing it is because they failed to plan, they failed to save and even prepare, then it is not a noble act. What you're doing is damage control. You know, I mean, don't get me wrong. It is very compassionate. It is very kind. But no, it is not a win in the generational sense. You know, true wins are when wealth flows downward, empowering the next generation to build even further. You know, not when it flows upwards just to patch avoidable gaps. And most of the time, the root of this problem is parenting as an economic safety net. You know, when people have children with the silent intention that one day they will take care of me, one day my son will become a president, my daughter will become a lawyer, you know, then they are not parenting. They are planting a future income source. And this leads to pressure-filled childhoods, where kids grow up with the weight of, I must succeed or my family will suffer. Stunted self-discovery. Because career choices are made based on what will make the most money first, not what's truly aligned. Resentment in adulthood. You know, because people now come to realize that they never got to fully live their life. They only lived a continuation of their parents' unfinished one. You know, in a healthy cycle, parents build wealth and security for themselves before having children. You know, they raise the children with guidance, with education and resources, and not dependence. They leave inheritance, financial, intellectual, and even emotional. You know, so their children start ahead, not behind. And now children in turn, they do the same for their offspring. And this will create compounding generational momentum, you know. When this is the standard, any help given to the parents is not an obligation born of guilt. It is a voluntary act of love. And that is the difference between freedom and forced responsibility. Now, here are some of the ways you can break the cycle. Number one, recognize the pattern. Understand that the black tax is not culture, not in the healthy sense anyway, but often a symptom of generational unpreparedness. Number two, set boundaries. You can care for family without bankrupting your own future. Support should be sustainable, not self-destructive. Number three, change your parenting philosophy. If you choose to have children, the goal should be to fund their start, not to drain their future. And lastly, build wealth downward. You know, shift the vision from my kids will take care of me to I will make sure that my kids never have to rescue me. You know, if you really zoom out, the black tax is not just an economic issue. It is an identity and alignment issue. It is the result of confusing love with economic dependence and mistaking sacrifice for progress. Bonge la scarcity mentality. You know, the generational breakthrough will come when African families normalize downward inheritance and not upward rescue. That's when compassion will be a choice, not a cage. My people heal.
Diesel Logic, that's his name, on TikTok, and he gave us 8 minutes of a breakdown of what he feels, he thinks, in a very sober way. And I don't know what your sentiments are on that particular video, even as we look at, because we have a few minutes to come to the end of the show, maybe we can tie this in with how do we change the frame of our minds then? How do we look at it without feeling like ni ushuru, ni tax, ni mbaya, ni and if that is what I feel, if I'm not able to do that, how do I communicate that as well? We'll start with Shibiriam as we come this way.
That's a tough one. He's brought out a lot of good points. And I like the question that you've asked. How do we break the cycle of looking at it like black tax?
Yeah.
I want to bring out some particular issues. I don't know whether you have seen stories in the Western world where even billionaires have refused to leave their inheritance for their children and they leave it all to charity.
Yeah, they can be extreme to dogs as well.
They've worked hard, they've built enterprises,
yes,
but they just leave that inheritance out to charity, so that these kids can also work hard can have their own work ethic and build for themselves. I want to link that up to, and I'm not saying it's bad to leave your inheritance. The Bible does say in Proverbs 13, I think, verse 22, it says, a great father leaves inheritance for his children. It doesn't say what the inheritance is.
No.
It doesn't specify money.
No.
If you were to break it down, it's in many different forms.
Yeah.
He leaves good inheritance morals for his children. He leaves a good work ethic for his children. He leaves how to stand on your own for his children. By just modeling those things, how to be joyful, how to make yourself get out of any situation. Take you back again to the Bible. I'm sorry, I'm using the Bible a lot. Isaac blessed his sons, Esau and Jacob. That's what he gave them, a blessing. Was Jacob rich? He was rich.
Yeah, he was.
Isaac. Was he rich? Extremely rich. But the Bible says Jacob came from wherever he came from with his wealth, found Esau with the wealth that he had accumulated so much. So they both the twins found themselves in a level that they had worked hard in foreign land for their property and had come with it. It's written nowhere that they were blessed with financial inheritance by their fathers. Jacob had to flee to go to his uncles to save his life. He left with nothing but came back with everything.
Yeah.
Are you getting what I'm saying?
Yes.
But he had been taught diligence. He had been given a blessing of you will prosper in whatever. You will be the head and not the tail. You will be blah, blah, blah. All that is inheritance. So he was given inheritance in that kind of way.
Yes.
I'm not saying it's bad to inherit from your families. But we've also seen families that have inherited from their fathers and they are fighting. The Naivas family, is it Tuskis family? The Karumes. They are busy squabbling for what the father made and have stagnated there, instead of also thinking, how can I expand my mind and grow?
Yeah.
So we're not saying it's a bad thing for a father to leave money and prosperity for a kid. It's very good.
Yes.
But we also have to look at it. There is more value that these parents give to the kids other than just leaving them financial wealth. If you were to ask this parent if they wanted to be dependent on their kids when they grew old, they would definitely say no.
Yeah.
I would never have wanted to be that I'm being fed, but the circumstances drew them there. Let me tell you, there's nobody in their right mind. We can't even ask now that we're working now. We're not working that so that we leave debts for our kids. Nobody ever plans for that. You don't wake up in the morning planning to have a debt.
No.
You wake up in the morning thinking prosperity, thinking I'm going to work hard to give my kids the life that I never had. And hopefully after I give them the life that I never had, I will have made enough to take care of myself. But unfortunately, that doesn't always become the case.
Yeah.
You know, with wise investment, one thing I would say is to encourage people, find knowledge where you don't have knowledge, financial knowledge.
Yes.
The word of God does says, my people perish for lack of knowledge. It's not just knowledge in God's word, it's knowledge in every other thing. Knowledge in how to make a relationship work, knowledge in how to make financial sense. So seek it.
Yes.
And employ it. Then maybe you can whatever. But just to say that your parent just sat there funding you as their end of time plan,
Yeah.
it is, I personally, I don't stand with that sentiment. Oh, how I would love to have my parents right now and take care of them.
Yes.
I would love it. They're not there.
Yeah.
I would love for them to be here and have a piece of my pie.
Yeah.
Gladly. Because they gave me a piece of their pie. Gladly.
Yeah.
They sacrificed everything they had and everything they knew how to sacrifice for me. Not so that I could pay back, but their joy was that I could have a better life than they had.
Yes.
I rode on their back to get to where I am today. Who am I to come and say so majestically that they cannot sit on my lap when they are old?
Yeah.
When I rode on their back when they were young. If they have the finances and all I'm doing is just decide to buy my dad a car every now and then just for the sake of it, well and good.
Sawa tu. Yeah.
But kama hawana, but they gave their blood for me. Why would I now call it black tax when I'm trying, when they're just trying to eat or I'm trying to feed them? Yes, create boundaries, and Chris will tell us how to create those boundaries.
Yeah.
But let's not stop quantifying love.
Okay.
Let's stop it.
Okay.
You can never, ever, ever quantify love. You can never, ever quantify relationships. Because what you get from those familial relationships, Mwikali, you can never put an amount. You can never put an amount to it.
That's true.
When you're there left, and you will know that, when you're there left desolate, sick, and, no one else, the only person who will pop their head is that even this mother who is here busy talking badly, if that daughter was to get sick, she would be the first one there on the bed, nursing her child, changing their bed sheets for them.
Yeah.
We can't quantify love.
All right.
That's how I feel.
Chris, I don't know what financial literacy, cultural shift and open conversation can do to probably just rewrite this whole black tax issue.
Okay. If I may start off by saying,
yes,
we don't choose the families we are born in.
No, we don't.
Right? The only thing that one of us is rich, another one is poor, is because they were born in that family. I'm not saying that people have not made themselves, but I'm just saying the difference between you and somebody who's begging on the street is the family you're born in.
Yeah.
So we don't get to choose where we start off.
Yeah.
But we can choose where our narrative goes. All right? So that parent, when you were born, they took care of you. They gave you all, they did all that they could to get you where you are. And I find that it becomes a dishonor where now they have gotten you somewhere where you can actually get a job for yourself and get money and do well. And then you say now they are a burden to you. Okay?
Yes.
So it's very unfair. And I like that Miriam drove that point very well. She's like, it's beyond finances. This person has given you emotional support. They have all aspects just to raise you in the best way that they can.
Yes.
All right?
Yeah.
So now it's up to us to ensure that, how then do we ensure that we stop this generational thing happening also to our kids? Now, it starts with us looking at, okay, first, can you work with others? Sometimes we take it as an individual thing, but I like what Nancy said. Shout about what you've done.
Yes. Say it loud.
Come and bring all your siblings and say,
Yes.
guys, these are our parents, okay? Because once you do that, you lower the amount that you're each contributing towards it. That's the first step of working prudently. Be wise.
Yeah.
Be wise, okay? Involve people who are, you're all related, you're all in the same boat. But the problem is, if you have that savior complex, then you're like, I must be the one to
do
chip
it.
this whole
Yes.
bill. I must be the one to do all this.
Yeah.
Then you end up hurting yourself, and then you're complaining that there's black tax, but then you're the one who's doing that. But see how you can work with the people around you to lighten the burden, all right? Because that's how then you're able to then budget and say, okay, for dad and mom's medical bills, or for my children, for my brother's school fees, this is how much they need if everyone contributes maybe 5K or 2K, depending on the capabilities,
Yeah.
then we can be able to empower this person, and then they grow. But you see, while you're doing that, you're also surrounding them, you're speaking life into them,
Yes.
you're growing those relationships, so that this guy, the moment he makes it, he's not looking like, now,
Yeah.
I have to serve a relationships with these guys. They're like, okay, this is what was done for me. I can
Yes.
also do the same for another person.
Yeah.
Right, then also looking at what practical ways can we help with this solution. And practical ways, I'd mentioned a few, is that can we come up with certain things that we can do as a family, for projects to help support. I know sometimes it's unfortunate there's only one sibling in the family. There's only one child in the family. But that's why we have community of people who can work with us. Don't just look at myself.
Okay, cool.
You have
Yeah.
people who can surround you. You can get spiritual parents or godparents or good uncles, aunties somewhere you can sit down with and say, guys, I can't do this by myself. So you start a project. If I can use a personal example. So
Yes.
my mother-in-law, she retired.
Yes.
And she started a chicken project.
Yes.
She's like, okay, guys, this is what I want to do to keep busy.
Yeah.
So support me in this. And what happens? When you support her now, it lightens the load
Yes, it does.
on
Yes,
us.
It does.
So sometimes it could be just one big investment at
Yes.
the beginning
Yeah.
that reduces your whole journey going forward.
Yeah.
So think outside the box of how can we help something? Do one thing now
Yeah.
to save us millions going forward.
Going forward,
All
and
right?
the everyday.
Yes, every day. Another way to look at it is, for example, medical bills. All right. Instead of us paying for bills every time my parents go to hospital,
Yes.
can we buy them a medical cover?
Yes.
Buy them a medical cover. We'll pay one off, maybe 110 or 20, whatever it is. We'll pay it one off, but it saves us from paying 2 million cumulatively
Yeah,
every time
absolutely.
they go to hospital.
Yes.
Okay?
Yeah.
So you have to look at what creative ways can we do to manage
instead of just
amount
getting
of
money
yes,
from your pocket
money
all
from
the-
your
all the
pocket
time.
every time.
Yeah. I think
It's
that's
hard.
Yeah.
So we have to look at, okay, what else can we do to manage these expectations?
I think that's a brilliant
Yeah.
and a practical thing that we can do. And I see we have only maybe 4 minutes before we come to the end of the show. But I'd like for us to probably try and answer some of the questions that were asked earlier. And we have maybe 3 more, and then we can put them together, and then we can have that as an answer from you, Nancy, and the rest as we give our parting shot. So maybe we can have that on the screen, Philip. Thank you. Hey, maybe it's not part of the subject in a way. Anyway, I'm 20 years and a firstborn, finished my high school 2023 and attained good grades, but not joined any university college due to financial problems. I've been dating, but both my mother and stepfather are not supporting any of my relationships. And if I'm not dating, they intend. They say that I'm a lesbian, and if I'm dating a man, they call me names, prostitute, and then they beat me. I don't know what to do. I like a fatherly love, and my partner gives me affection, and I feel loved and forget the sadness of not having fatherly love. So what should I do? I feel lost in my thoughts and unloved. What should I do? I've tried to talk to my friends, and they told me to tell them to stop with the beatings and the name calling, but I'm scared, and I don't want to disrespect them by telling them to stop. Neither, for I want to be called. For I don't want to be called certain names and beatings. What can I do? We'll definitely not on the topic, but we'll definitely handle it as well. Let's have the next one. My name, Peter. Got a stroke on 1st of August 2019. I had educated my sisters and brother, but since I got a stroke, they have disappeared. I'm alone. I'm elderly. I feel to be misused by all. My father had 2 women. The other family is celebrating my stroke. I have moved too far away from home. I cannot talk due to stroke, but I can hear. Peter Kegodo, and there is his number. I'm elder in the whole family, so that means the firstborn on that, so we can handle that. I'm Mr. Ben, watching you. Thanks for ongoing message of black tax, blessing or burden. Can I get your numbers, please, for more informed? From Miriam, Nancy, if possible. Family issues, okay. Hello there. My dad, ever since we were young, has never been a responsible father. He was not there to support our mom, Hatana school fees. We are 4 in our family, and I'm the last one, and my mom supported me. Adi Nika graduate campus. My elder siblings are doing okay, but my dad expects everything from us. Kwanza mimi nikiingia campus, he really told me some bitter words nikiingia. He never called. He never even called me nikiwa shule, but right now he calls me telling me, mshahara ikiingia nimbaye soda. What I've gone through while growing up because of him has really traumatized me, and I wonder if it's really for him to expect something from me. And now gopanga sana kas if I don't give. He thinks niko kazi sai because naishi around Nairobi, and he expects me to send something. I don't even like going home because nikienda mkono tupu, I'll be questioned by him. So I prefer to kukaa na huku. And make it. Hiyo ADH, sijui kama ni make it niweze shorthand zenye sielewi, make it niweze kuenda na kakitu home. So my question is it really fair for parents who were not supportive to you while growing up and now wanting everything from you later in life? And our time is up. Oh my God, I don't know what to do. Maybe we'll get everybody 10 seconds. That will be 30 seconds to just probably answer the questions and give a final and parting shot as well. Nancy.
I feel like we need to understand there is a black tax. When we refer to it, it refers to a demand and an expectation, right? So for anyone who feels the 3 things I had mentioned are not balanced, you need now to look at what is your ideal. Like, you have to operate from a point of realism.
Yes.
Your ideals should not be comparative to an expectation or to social setting. Okay? So call yourself for a meeting, ask yourself, what is an ideal? Your ideal should be within your ability.
Okay.
So if your ideal is to be able to pay your rent, find money to pay for your rent, and then now you can prosper because that gives you some peace of mind, then choose yourself. Okay. By all means, choose yourself. Even for the parents who expect support from their children, what's your ideal? Would your ideal be being able to produce resources, right? Then what do you need to put in place so that you choose yourself or communicate that in a realistic way? Because black tax, as it is referred, is emanating from a broken system. Okay. It's a systemic breakdown. So, and when you realize where there is a leak, you start fixing that leak before you find, where the source is.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. 10 seconds.
10 seconds, wow. So this is just summarizing. It's just saying black tax has 3 aspects to it. There's a mathematical aspect or economic aspect.
Yes.
Me choosing myself versus supporting. Can I manage to do it? Can I do things that invest my money to help me do that support? There's the emotional and emotional aspect of it.
Yes.
And lastly is
I am so sorry.
Wow,
Chris.
I'm sorry for you. There's the emotional, but also lastly enough, you have to look at generational aspect.
Okay.
Historical issues do matter. You need to address them as well.
So, Miriam, in 5 seconds.
Help when you can with what you can with.
All right.
Yes.
Thank you. Whew. That was marathon in the last few minutes of the show, but it's an important conversation to have. I'm happy that we had it today. Thank you so much for tuning in. See you tomorrow, same time, same place. Enjoy the rest of your day. Adios.